everyone, welcome to this Summer Moon Block of the Month tutorial. Today we're going to be making this album block. One of the extra tools that I'm going to suggest that you have on hand is a square ruler that is at least 8 inches. This is a Creative Grid 10-inch square ruler, so you are going to need a square ruler at least 8 inches to true up these squares.
To start off this block, just take all of your pieces and begin to arrange them how you'd like them to look. I don't like to put the same color next to each other as much as I can help it, so I've just arranged them here with my background pieces in between and on the outsides as well. Now I'm just going to stitch them all together with a 1/4 inch seam. Once you have all of your rows stitched together, you're just going to iron all of them towards the background, so towards the white fabric with the little orange dots if you're using the Summer Moon kit available at justsostudio.com. After this, what you're going to do in order to put all of your rows together, you need to find the center of each row. So what I've done is I have folded each of them in half and then created a light crease down the middle with my iron just by lightly pressing it real quick. And then I'm going to do that to all of the rows and then line them all up before I stitch them all together. And here I'm just stitching together the last of my rows to complete my block.
Okay, so to true up this block, you're going to need a ruler that's at least 8 inches. So I'm using the 10-inch Creative Grids ruler. And what we're going to do is we're going to true this up to be an 8-inch square. And what we need to pay attention to, there's a few things. Here's this diagonal line that we can make sure is roughly aligned with the diagonal seams we have going on here. We also need to make sure that as we trim, we have at least 1/4 inch from these corners to where we're cutting. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. We also want to make sure that we're cutting within all of our little divots in here so that there's no gaps. So, okay, that's a lot to keep in mind. So I'm just going to mess around here real quick. I have my 8-inch up here and my 8-inch right here, and I'm looking, and it looks like I am good to go, except this is what I experienced with the small and medium blocks as well. The corner here can be kind of rough because we are working with a bias, so there is going to be some stretch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this a little bit to make sure that we're hitting all the way clear out to our 8-inch marking here. And then over here, we're going to do the same thing. And that looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm just going to see how far we are away from our edges. It's not going to be perfect. We're just trying to get, really our biggest goal here is to get within, so that, like right here, you can see it's really close, but we're still good. We're good here. This, we're more than good up here and down here. Okay, so I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Just double check all of my, and then I'm gonna cut this side and this side. All right. Now this one's a little bit easier to do because we already have 2 of our sides done. So I'm just gonna line up those 2 sides with the 8-inch over here. As you're doing this, you'll see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this like weird bias stretch, where I feel like usually you don't want to stretch it too much, but in this case you kind of have to. All right. So now I have all 3 album block sizes. There we have it.